Hello,
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. My name is Vladimir, and I'm a language teacher myself.
Okay,
And the reason I'm here on this platform is to talk with my fellow teachers on the topic of teaching.
okay, very nice. We can definitely have a conversation about that.
I've prepared a list with some questions and statements, and I'd
Yeah,
love to get your 2 cents on the matter. Is that okay?
yeah, yeah, no problem.
You've been teaching English for how long now? 15 years?
Yes, since 2009. With
2009.
mm-hmm, yes, with a brief stint of focusing on teaching Spanish.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, okay,
Yes,
language teaching since 2009. Okay. So,
yes.
my first question is, what is the role of a language teacher?
For me, it's always about facilitation, actually. So my goal always with students is to get them from being dependent, moving from being dependent to autonomous language learners so that they could leave my class and go study on their own, whether they want to read newspapers or watch films or
Basically, teach them how not to pay us.
basically, yes. I mean,
You start with the expression, shoot myself in the foot.
yes,
No,
I
no,
mean,
no,
I
no,
think
I'm
everybody,
joking, but I agree with you 100%.
yes.
100%.
I think, though, I make a good case as well for why classroom learning is important. So, a lot of students come to me and ask, "Oh, what do you think about studying abroad?" And I say, "Oh, you should 100% go. Your fluency will improve. That's probably the first thing that will happen, your confidence." But I said, I always recommend a good language class while they're
Oh, okay.
abroad.
But anyway, so when we talk about becoming an independent learner, what are some of the things you say, the advice you give for them to become independent?
So it's less about advice and sort of showing them what they can do on their own.
For example?
It's a sequencing of tasks or different assignments. So the first one, I very much will hold their hand. I'll show them how to do, if they're watching a video, like what they can do with putting the subtitles and sort of being more
We're talking
focused on
about
watching.
adults, right? I just wanted to
Yes,
make sure. Okay,
adults. Yes. For me, I've mostly worked with adults. I've worked with children, but
okay,
um,
okay.
it's a different world. But yeah, so or I'll show them how to go through a simple news article. Will be
They need help with that? Okay, really?
I think in English they may because sometimes they do not have they have different language. Excuse me, they have different educational backgrounds, so they may not always know how to find the most important information in their own language, but definitely
Yeah,
in
yeah, I
English.
understand. Well, what about the role of a dictionary? I think you would agree that language teaching is not about being a human dictionary. So,
Oh,
what
right.
is the place of a dictionary in your class?
Yes. The truth is, the dictionary has taken more of a backseat since 2009 until 2022. I've moved on to like WordReference or Linguee, showing them how it works, so that they can find different types of to be able to. A lot of students I've learned they just want to find the word and move on when they're either writing or making their presentations, and I've taught them to slow down, to look at the different entries, to try to figure out on their own what the difference of
So,
the
your
entries are.
recommendations, could you say them again? My
Yes,
recommendations are Longman, Cambridge, Oxford. Your recommendations are?
any physical dictionary is always good, but
No,
I've
no, no,
focused
online,
more.
online.
Yes,
Okay.
word reference and Linguee. I like Linguee because it brings
For English.
real for English. Actually, it's for all
No, no, I
languages.
know, but for English, you still recommend that one.
I do. Yes, it's. I think it provides a good set of authentic material, and
Have
so
you
they'll have
looked
the.
at Longman, the online, and
Uh, I
Cambridge?
haven't. I haven't looked at them recently.
Okay,
No.
let me
Uh,
recommend. Longman
Okay.
to you, teacher to
Okay,
teacher.
good.
I'd like to tap into your background in linguistics. You have a Ph.D. in linguistics.
I'm finishing my dissertation. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you have a
Yeah.
master's and okay, on your way
Hmm.
to a PhD. What is language? If you could define language in a few words. I think you would agree that in order to figure out how to teach, we need to be able to define the thing we are teaching. So what is
Yeah.
language?
So, linguistically and also educationally, I always take a communicative approach. I believe there are some linguists who understand language as sort of uh, different patterns in the brain being able to be expressed, but I obviously understand that and like to define it as communication. So, it's the ability to convey ideas to other people in socially appropriate ways.
What is the difference, or what's the difference between express and communicate? To me, those are synonyms.
So, generativist linguists tend to, they've done better in the last decade or two, but they tend to just say, oh, how would you say this? How would you do this? What is possible in the language? Which is very helpful. I
How
think
would you
lots
say
of
this?
theory.
This is one of the most common questions learners ask. How do you say this? How do you say this?
Yes. Yes. Generativist linguists are more interested in what is possible in the brain for the language, whereas I'm more interested in how would you communicate something to be understood by somebody else?
Okay, let
Uh,
me tell you my definition, which is the exact opposite. The exact opposite.
mm,
As far as I'm concerned, language is a tool for acquiring knowledge. Language is not for speaking. Language is not for
mm,
communication. Language is a tool for acquiring knowledge, getting information.
mm.
To me, speaking is a byproduct of knowledge acquisition.
Yeah, that's certainly a good definition, but I don't think you can ever divorce social interaction from
Language
the
is
ability to get
speaking is a
knowledge.
byproduct of knowledge acquisition.
But we wouldn't have this ability if we didn't need to talk to one another in social situations. Animals also have ways of getting knowledge, but they're not always communicating in advanced ways. And what makes us more advanced is the ability and the need that we
Acquired knowledge.
created
I mean
over.
acquired knowledge, not
Right.
acquired
Right.
knowledge.
I will never divorce any social interaction from an understanding of language. It's just my theoretical
No, of
underpinning.
course. To me, the biggest problem. What is the biggest problem with language education, in your experience? Why
The big
classroom settings don't work?
I mean, I don't mean to be repetitive, but I think that language classes are too focused on very minute grammar. They're not focused on actual conveying of
Not on speaking.
meaning, whether writing or understanding. It's language for me is meaning, and if we're going through the conjugation charts and we're just trying to figure out, oh, this is the conjugation for this person. Yes, there's meaning there. Yes, it's an important part of the process, but I think teachers focus too much on that, and it's more
Yeah.
important.
You
I
see,
think it's more.
to me, the problem with education is, again, language is a tool for acquiring knowledge. To me, language equals knowledge. Language doesn't
Mhm.
exist without knowledge. And
Yeah.
nobody goes into a classroom with the mindset of acquiring knowledge. They go with the mindset of acquiring language. And to me, language
Mhm.
without knowledge does not exist. That's why classroom lessons, I would say Cambly and all those type of lessons, they don't work because nobody's on Cambly with the mindset of acquiring knowledge, probably except me. I'm here
Mhm.
to get
Mhm.
information from you. I bet
Mhm.
that I'm probably the first and last that will come to you and ask you those type of questions.
I actually, you're probably the second. I had a yeah, no, but I see your point.
The thing is, to me, vocabulary and grammar are not knowledge. To me, vocabulary and grammar to a language, what glossaries and footnotes are to a book.
Mm. Yeah, that's a nice metaphor.
To facilitate the information, the knowledge.
Hmm. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think there is a place for Cambly. Particularly, I see it with language students who are coming in and they're only focused on grammar. They only understand grammar, and I think it's nice to hear different voices. And
So when you said that teachers focus too much on grammar, the reason I'm not excusing them, the reason they're focusing on grammar because the moment you strip the language of the knowledge, all you're left with is vocabulary and grammar. Nobody goes into a classroom to learn marketing, language classroom to learn marketing, biology, chemistry. Let me ask you this question. Because Cambly, the way Cambly hires teachers is by saying, get paid to chat with people from around the world. Have you ever paid to chat with people?
I have been, yes. With
Have
Cambly, I have.
you paid to talk?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
You haven't paid. Have you paid to chat with people? Was my question.
No, I haven't.
No. Would a native speaker of English pay you to have a conversation with you?
No. I mean, it depends if they're interested in linguistics. Then they would pay.
That's what. Yes, my point.
Yeah.
So you see my issue with the whole Cambly and language teaching. I used to do that, not Cambly, but offline. I realized I was providing a service I wouldn't pay for. To me, paying for speaking makes no sense whatsoever. To me, the word practice and speaking in one sentence make no sense. It's like earth and flat in the same sentence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To me, practice speaking makes no sense.
Yeah.
To you, makes sense?
I can't emphasize long enough that I believe that social interaction creates knowledge. It is the vehicle through which we understand language. So I can't. I mean, I'm writing my entire dissertation on the premise of social interaction having effect.
If one's reading is smooth and fluent, and one's listening comprehension is at a very high level, and one's proficiency in writing is at a very high level, speaking will be 100% perfect. No question. To me, speaking is the last thing people should think about. Everything you need to know about how to learn a foreign language, you can find in my book, Virtually Native, which is available on Amazon and virtuallynative.com. You have one life. Don't waste it.